older lady asked me, we'd gone to the choir concert, and she said, well, do you teach? I guess because I'm starting a school. And I said, well, I taught preschool and kindergarten, and I had children. I said, ma'am, they're not going to hire me. I've got bipolar, and your reputation precedes you when you have mental illness. And it's just funny that I want to start a school, but they wouldn't hire me. And I was lucky when I taught preschool that I guess the director, her name was Nancy, and she's a beautiful older lady that wore just astounding looking outfits. And she said, well, let me know if you need to get off work. And I did. I had to take off a couple weeks. And she said, take all the time you need and come back when you're ready. So I guess she was educated and open-minded about, and I was honest. The funny thing is people are like, well, just don't tell them, hide it. And I'm like, yeah, that's like, okay, I'm not a woman, or I am a woman, or I'm black, or I'm not black, or I'm Muslim, or I'm not, you can't, I have breast cancer. I guess it's almost easier to hide breast cancer maybe, but that's really not something that you want to come out if you're having trouble with it, and that you've hidden it for successfully maybe a year or two, that you have an illness, because that lends to be distrustful, because then they're like, what else aren't you telling us? So it is a quandary, and I'm looking for an answer, but to me it's up front, and just say, I have to take medicine for this, and it's something I work on. And it's not always perfect, but as an adult, I try to stay on top of it. I think you could look and see if the person, like Nancy did, they did background checks, and they did that at the VMFA. I have no criminal history. And that's right, I volunteered at the VMFA in the children's room. We didn't have any problems, but the stigma, in some cases and instances of people that are just uneducated on it, even my own family, is just horrible. And getting jobs and things like that. I was in a group with this man that had gone through a situation where he sold everything and went out and bought a yacht, and his wife divorced him. But he said that, he said, I can't tell him at work, I would lose my job. And I'm just like, come on, that's the dark ages. Let's go into the golden ages where we discuss it and we find tracks of illumination of how to get treatment to the people that need it in the brain. It is just an amazing time with medications and people studying and trying to come up with treatments that are good. And I think the public schools are a great forum to start discussing this, because you find children with problems at home and they bring these problems to school. And it's just a background of a menage of many, many issues that we can learn from. And to just go ahead and suspend a kid and kick him out of school for 2 weeks, and then he drops out, could we have done this better? Could we have kept him in school and done some therapy and gotten to the root of the problem and helped him to graduate and become a successful citizen, having a family, or is he going to spend the rest of his life in jail, costing the taxpayer? So to me, what I weigh is, let's go ahead and pay those therapists, like get an art therapist, a music therapist, and see if we can't kind of iron out the problems that are showing up in public schools before they become addictions, before they become violent problems after school, prison, drug dealing. Because when you're mentally healthy, pretty mentally healthy, you don't really want to do a lot of hard drugs or drink alcohol. Your coping skills are good, and you enjoy being in the present. And so if you're in a lot of pain, you might want to drink a lot. There's that party atmosphere, but there's also that time when you're like, hey, I'm alive. This is kind of cool. And life has got a lot of pain in it. But sometimes you have to feel that pain.